Hey guys, still here and welcome back to more Wargame Red Dragon. Long ago, way back in the day, I used to do something called Tactical Tuesdays. It was me covering tactical matches, so that was a 10v10 tactical, and they always took place on Tuesday, or at least that's when I published the vids. Today, a small recursive of the Tactical Tuesdays. This one was sent in by Rambo 64-bit. He's going to pull an interesting maneuver with a couple of KA-50, a K-52, KA-50 Akula and an M24D transporting Spetsnaz. It's a tactical on Herald in a very small place without the naval variant. So everything is going to be happening on this, well, fairly small, not so wide area of terrain. It's a 10v10, target is 6,000 destruction points, and, well, in 10v10s you usually get all sorts of weird stuff. You get people using a ton of artillery, there is usually some form of an MLRS opener, you usually find quad stacks of something that really shouldn't be quad stacked. There is generally somebody using an M84AN somewhere, somebody using a heavy or super heavy, there's the M84AN, as ordered. And all sorts of CVs are usually hunted down at the end of the battle. I haven't played a 10v10 tactical in quite a while. I think the last one I did was... No, actually, that's not true. I did one not too long ago with some of the guys. Except it wasn't too interesting because for about the last 15 minutes of a 60-minute game, nothing happened. So I decided not to cover it. But I used to be a very, very frequent player of these 10v10 tacticals. Now, let's see. These helos are going to pull a flanking maneuver. You have ample opportunity to do so, and Rambo announces his intent. Flanking with helos, who wants to join? Currently, of course, since I'm not seeing a chat, it seems like nobody is interested in joining. And while there might be some chat happening about who's going where, there's not a whole lot of text markers, so I cannot really deduct who's going where. Very, very aggressive Su-24. Interestingly, not finding anything. Oh, there we go. It has found a duo of automatics and a couple of helicopters going for potentially a flanking maneuver. For some reason, there's a Thunderbolt coming in early. I'm not sure if it was trying to hunt down the Su-24, but whatever, potentially. And over here, the Thunderbolt comes crashing to the ground after having been taken down by a couple of ASFs from Red. The helos on the move. There is one assistant from Kusavai. It is an Mi-8 with rocket pods, although they're only 57mm, with a command infantry inside. It just means that Dimitri is going to have to be properly purged in order for that CV to come in useful. Now, when it comes to Red's deployment, the middle is very light. With a couple of Padobranchi, and Blinder seems to be aggressively pushing these across the open, despite the presence of a couple of Bradleys. Over on the left, a Spet BOV, it's basically an anti-air gun, has no business being this far forward, and especially not when there's a Leopard around. A Leopard backed up by two automatics, and against small, thin armored vehicles, the automatics can kill almost everything. The Padobranchi have made it into safety. They were able to traverse this area without getting shot at, and they can now kill the Bradleys. Now, there was a flight of helos here, but cannot really see them anymore. So let's check in on our main characters here. The K-52, the Akula, and the Mi-24. So far, it seems like they have not been detected. There's no ASF, there's no DAP, there's no response of any kind. We do, however, already potentially have a few targets. There's artillery here, there, and there. And this is what I mentioned at the start. It's not unusual to see 10v10s with quite a few players going artillery, because big boom, or big tube artillery goes boom. And just look at what we find. 25 points. There's a CV there. Sorry, there's a Humvee there. Not necessarily a CV, but it could be command infantry. There's a duo of Paladins. There's a duo of Rhinos. The Mi-24 wipes out the command infantry underneath it. There goes the Paladin. Another 100 points there. Rambo 64-bit, in the first 3 minutes of the game, has already scored 485 points, and he's not even done. There's 2 Bacans, there's the Paladin, there's the other command unit. There's a quad stack of Humvees there. Don't ask me why. The Akula at this point comes under fire, but since most players have probably expended all their points, they're unable to get any more units in. Made all the more difficult by an utter lack of a spawn. And this is how a battle gets lost within about the first 3.5 minutes. The M24D can still drop off its payload in the form of infantry, and at that point they might even be able to capture the fobs. Burly Waffles, one of the blues, surrenders. K52 still working over the BCAM-1C. The Issue-25K trying to get any any kill that the K52 spots. And it's just... it's almost over for Blue 4. This quick. First 3.5 minutes. The CV gets dropped off by Kusavai. That command unit is going to prove to be very useful. The Mi-8 just casually parked where a Blue 4 spawn used to be. And Blue starts leaving en masse. This is what happens when you don't have a couple of players defending a flank. One reconnaissance bird, just one reconnaissance helicopter, or even an empty helicopter could have told you that this was going to happen. On top of that, it seems that Blue does not have a lot of forces. Yes, they're making a bit of a move here, but that's about the only forces that you can see. There is really not that much happening. So let's skip to the end and see how many points our main character here, Rambo, is able to get. Because he's currently on 1150 points. Which is, I think, if you tally up all the scores, still more than the rest of his team has done combined. Props to some of these Blue 4 players for not leaving. I'm not sure if they're actually able, or if they're actually thinking that they might be able to win. But whoever got, I think it's a Fallen Knight. He got the command from Burly Waffles. And he tried to make a move back in, but the Akula was still alive. And it still has missiles. There's 2 MLRS units firing back at the fob that was captured by Red. But the amount of kills that Rambo is able to get here is insane. It's made all the more interesting when you see how many units he actually lost. Because so far... well, Stealth, what do you think? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. 2201 points, 0 losses. That's a kill-death ratio of, I think, infinity, because divide by none. Well, if it would have been 1 point lost, it would have been a 2200 to 1 kill ratio, which is still extremely impressive, but he lost nothing. He lost absolutely nothing. So, what did Blue do? Where are their forces? Because, yes, they had 2, I think 3 players going artillery. But what did the rest of them do? We saw the Thunderbolt coming early. No other ASFs. No helo flank, except for the units that were going around there. Where was Blue? Why was there no response over here on the left? Nothing. Let's see. The Fallen Knight is saying holding there. Scoof and Burley are going to Fox. That's a red marker. Gurkhas from Red Dragon Nuts. Plus fire support for his Gurkhas. Yeah, there is a column going here. It's Grizzlies. It's a bunch of infantry. M2 Bradley. A Chimera. Interesting choice of a unit. Yes, it has... oh, sorry, that's the Bradley. Yes, it has 20 frontal armor and 12 side armor. It's a pillbox with a gun. But... a 19 AP and 7 rounds a minute rate of fire. It's an interesting unit, but I don't really see where you want to deploy that. And there was a reconnaissance unit here, the Wildcat, but it's basically in the wrong position. Because once something kills the Wildcat, it's all over anyway. Because if they kill the Wildcat, it means that they've already lost. If you want to scout, or if you want to make sure that the flank does not get attacked, don't put it here, put it there. Because then, if people come over the water like they do, well, if they come over the water like they do, at least you'll get some more warning. Because now you get no warning. Because it's, from here to there, it's 5 seconds till they kill the CV. And then the rest of them. So we got Detained Cold, 06 over here with Paladins. We got Kirov with 2 Bacans. We got Trunk Zombel with Rhinos. Somebody was using the Thunderbolt. Humvees. They definitely have a presence here. With the 2A5 that was, sorry, the 2 2A5s that we saw. The automatics, 2 from Dova Cat, 2 from Killer Cat. I wonder if these cats are working together. Flakpan's Gepard. Interestingly, no infantry. Or at least they're not making a move yet. And even if they do make a move, they're going to have to contest quite a few units. Although with the 2 Leopard 2A5s, they can definitely cause a lot of destruction. There is still the reinforcements here, the M2A2s, the Riflemen, and Milan. But really, Red has almost nothing there. They're trying to make a bit of a move here. Canadian Airborne, Rangers, is doing a command there to try and counter it. Keep in mind, it's destruction, conquest, so you don't really need ACV there, except to get more income. A substantial amount of infantry dropped off here. From Scoof, this is not helping. You don't need 60 Riflemen 90 to defend this one side. It's way, way, way too much. Scoof is also moving a couple of Grizzlies forward. Now, take note of how weak Red 4 is here. The BMD-2K can defend itself. But that's about the only thing. Because this artillery piece can't, the Smirch can't, there's a bunch of CVs over there, there's an Ondava. And the Ondava, yes, it can defend itself, if it absolutely has to. But the accuracy there is only 25%. And they only fire 1 round every 9 seconds. Still, he's not moving forward. He's not aggressive enough. Now here comes the 913 as well as the SU-25, and just the killing spree has already begun. Red 4 completely dominates the spawn, and Blue 4 just doesn't have anything to do. 2 Rover 107s, the South African Napalm rocket pods, or Napalm MLRS, do make an attempt to burn the area down. And sure enough, they are getting some kills here, Red 4. Leopard 2A5, they're both still alive, but neither party is making much of a move. And I think that since they don't have any mortars here, or at least none that I can find, they're not able to put up a smoke screen, so pushing with the Leopard 2A5 there is very difficult and dangerous, and can very quickly be shot down, especially since there was an SU-25 flying around. And at this point, Red 4 has captured it. They pushed out the guys over here. Yeah, there's still a few riflemen here and there, but overall, the game is done. So, lesson. Put a command vehicle there, right. Put a recon there. An empty chopper. A recon chopper. Put a Wildcat over there if you want to. Just make sure that you scout out this side, because if you don't, then Red 4 can pull shit like this. Similarly, if Red 4 hadn't done it, Blue 4 could have done it. Because only now there is some defense into position here. But beyond that, Blue 4 could have very easily done the same thing with, let's say, an Apache. It doesn't even have to be an Apache longbow, although it would have helped. Could have been an Apache longbow, a couple of DAPs, maybe a couple of Cobras with simple rocket pods, and potentially a CV in an M60. Sorry, a UH-60. And they could have done the same thing. So in this case, Red got it. They got away with it, but Blue could have just as easily done the same thing. And it would have been a very interesting encounter if those two helo groups then would have met over the water. Because then it would have been anybody's guess who would have actually made it out alive. Now, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let this be a lesson. Defend your flank, otherwise Rambo 64-bit is going to come in and wreck everything. Incredibly impressive kill-death ratio, and potentially the best one that I've ever seen. Now, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more.